think it's live now. People, Deluded, I'm back again. I'm here with my good mate, Jake. How you doing, man? What you saying, man?
Yeah, I'm good.
Here for a while.
I'm good. It's good to see you again. It's good, you know, that Arsenal have won 2 trophies in a month. And
yeah, we've been all right, fam. We've been all right.
Exactly. And hopefully this is just the start of us being successful, but we'll see.
We'll see. People, get their likes in, man. Please get their likes in. Let's keep doing this. So yeah, man, you kind of touched on it, and it leads me to my talking point. Obviously, I've spoken to you off camera and stuff, but I've never spoken to you like this. So what's been your feelings on Arteta since he's taken over and obviously won these trophies? What do you think he's done well in that?
Well, before we even got him, he wasn't my first choice because obviously he didn't have the experience before, and at a club like Arsenal, generally, or a big club, you need a manager or a head coach, that has had that experience or has had that pedigree or has got something on their CV to say, I've done this previously, hire me. But the fact that he even got the job shows that the people hiring him, they must have seen something in him.
Some potential in it.
Exactly. So when he initially came in, and what was his first game? Bournemouth. You could see
Bournemouth.
Already that he had got a style of play in that one game, just with the different patterns of play and the different types of passes that he was trying to ask these guys.
Intention, in it. You
could see as well that defensively how he wanted us to set up. It was either we were going to go and press or we were going to go and sit behind the ball. So from that first game, I was impressed with him. And then obviously we played Chelsea, lost to Chelsea at home, but that doesn't matter that much.
Away last 15.
Exactly. Then we beat Man United at home.
Big game.
It was a big game, and he got the players to turn up for the big game. He got them turn up for Chelsea as well, but obviously we
straight away.
So, you know, with him, what I think he's done really well. It was just a shame the way we came back from lockdown, where we had them 2 back-to-back L's against Brighton and Man City, because yes, they were deserved, because obviously the Man City game, we just don't need to talk about that.
We got blown out.
The players weren't up for it. Like, they thought they'd won the game before they'd even gone on the pitch. But all the other games, like, you can see that he's implemented a style of play. You can see that he's implemented his mindset, like his beliefs, over to the players, saying, you guys are the team. He can't do anything. You guys have to.
You lot have to do it.
You lot have to perform for the club. You lot have to perform for the fans.
I'll give you all the confidence, but you got to go and do it.
Exactly. He can tell them. What I would find really interesting if Arsenal did a behind the scenes documentary. You see how
you sure you want that, bro?
It would be so good, because I'm watching the Spurs one, and Mourinho. Yeah, we can all slate Mourinho, whatever. But the guy's mentality in here is win. That's it.
Yeah. Sometimes they weren't even listening to him in that documentary.
Exactly. And I think with Arteta, he's got the same, but his style of play is so different. And I think his confidence and whatever he's learned under Pep Guardiola is, you know, what's coming across. I'm not saying he's going to be the next Pep or anything like that, but he's doing good things at Arsenal at the moment. And if he carries this on, I feel that he himself is going to have a successful career.
It's true what you said, man.
No, only because, like, with certain managers, he's quite humble. Like,
he's got that quiet confidence about him.
Yeah, it's not about him. Like, it doesn't talk about him. It's always, you know, whether we win or lose, it's the players need to. If the players lose the game, so say for example against Tottenham, we lost. He'll say the players, they turn up, but they didn't turn up when it mattered in moments in the game.
Yeah.
Whereas against Chelsea and Man City in the semi-finals, all the players turn up for the whole match.
For every second of it,
The players get the credit for that. I think that Arteta's, with the formation he's played, and the 3-4-3, and most of it has been with the similar team. So it was what Mustafi
changed too much.
He hasn't changed it. So the players that are playing there, they've kind of understood, okay, this is the system, this is what we need to do. And I feel he's done that really well, because you see usually a manager comes in, they're doing...
We talk about time and...
Right, exactly. So he's doing a good job. I think
Let me ask you this, when you look at Emre, Emre's irrelevant. It's been and come. But everything I'm seeing under Arteta, I was trying to tell people that Emre wasn't doing this. They were talking about time, and to a degree, I do think he needed time. But for me, it's time for what? Arteta for me has a lot of time because he showed me initial building blocks. Why do you think it's like with it? Like you said, from the first second, you could kind of see what he's been building blocks are, and week in week out, we've seen an improvement. Why did it take Emre so long? Because the only thing that I saw Emre actually put into our team, and I give him credit for, is actually he was the first guy to say, I want to play out from the back. There was just no intention with it. So why do you think a relatively novice in Arteta has been able to do this, where a Europa League manager's taking time?
Good question. I think it's just his confidence and the way that he understands both the offensive side and the defensive side. So with Emery, we can say he was rubbish or whatever. To me, he wasn't that bad.
He's not that bad. He just coward, man.
Towards the end, like I think him not being able to speak English properly was a really a negative for him, because maybe the players don't understand what he's saying.
Yeah, and people used to poke fun at that. Yeah,
exactly. And then how do you think that makes him feel? Like, why should he be trying if all of our fans are going to be like, "Oh, good evening," da da da.
Yeah, take the piss out of him when they can't speak more than one language. It don't make sense.
Exactly, it's stupid. But with Emery, you could see as well in the first October where we had Fulham and we scored that wicked goal and we smashed Fulham 5-1.
We even had to come from behind in the second half in that game.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is that Emery, yeah, he implemented a style of play a bit, trying to play out from the back. But I feel, one, he had the wrong players, i.e. he's trying to play out from the back with Cech.
And Socrates, madness.
Where Cech's trying to kick the ball in his own goal against Man City at home on the first game.
Crazy, innit? I remember that. This guy's mad.
Yeah, it's different. Like with Emery, he was. Oh, you can't say he's a bad coach because he's won three
Europa Leagues. Like you can't say he's a bad coach.
You can't say he's bad, but he was maybe just wasn't the fit for Arsenal.
Too cowardly for us.
And I don't feel that he worked on the defensive side of the game as much as what Arteta does. So with Arteta, you can see at certain points in the game we will go and press, or it depends on opposition. And then at certain points, we'll sit 11 men behind the ball and say, come and break us down. The game against Southampton, where we won, what was it, 2-0?
Something like that.
Yeah, and Ketia scored one of the goals where he's pressed the keeper and he scored against Norwich as well.
We've scored a couple like that recently.
Exactly, where we've gone and pressed. But we haven't been, like, people can't get this, deluded, I didn't
man, we're used to it.
The delusional, thoughts where it's like, oh, Arteta's going to be the next Guardiola, like he's playing all of this.
Just wait and see, man.
No, Arteta's doing what he can with the players he's got.
Facts.
So you can't moan at what he's doing, because at the end of the day, he's won us an FA Cup, he's just won us the Community Shield, and things are looking up for us. You have to be real.
Your facts on that. You mentioned a good point about earlier about he's working with what he's had. When I look at it, I think he wants to play. I think he wants to go to a 4 at the back, but he wants to be able to play 3 at the back. When you look at Aubameyang out wide, potentially Ceballos and Xhaka, do you think a lot of these things are going to be here next season, or are they just temporary fixes because we needed to find a sort of solution very quickly, sort of thing?
Nah, I think going forward, this is the way he's going to be, because you can see with Guendouzi already, if Guendouzi's not up to the standard, you're not playing. You see with Ozil, I don't know what's going on with Ozil, but clearly Ozil isn't up to what he wants. He's not playing. Ozil's one of the biggest names or our biggest players.
And on the biggest money as well.
I don't, exactly. But regardless, like even with me, if Aubameyang's attitude drops, you're not playing. If Xhaka's attitude drops, you're not playing. If Tierney's attitude drops, you're not playing, because why do you deserve to? The problem is he has to stick with this now. So you've seen, well, not you've seen it, but I know that it's hard in life in general, not even just in football. You might have one rule for someone because they're better, and then not another rule, like not the same rule for someone else because they're not as good, and you feel it's easier to bring them out. But he has to keep that, because it's not fear in the players, but it's like the players look at him and go, wow, Mesut Ozil is the highest paid player at the club. He hasn't played one minute.
Rubbed out. What could happen to me if I fuck about? Yeah.
Right. Exactly that. So I feel that hopefully the players will see it and they'll go, right, I want to be part of this. Like for me and for you, obviously, we would do anything to go play for Arsenal right now.
Well, for 30 seconds, we'll give a lot to play 30 seconds for this football club.
Exactly. We would do anything. But I think Arteta's making the players realise that
Feel like that
they are in such a privileged position because we are Arsenal. It's not like we're a League 2 or League 1 club, you know, that has their local fans or whatever. We are one of the biggest clubs in England, one of the biggest clubs in the world, most well-known, one of the most...
It's about remembering that and acting like that day in, day out and everything you do, sort of thing.
Exactly.
It's facts. We got a question here, and I was going to ask you it anyways, but it's a decent question. It's in relation to Deadwoods. Who's the Deadwoods for you? Who do you get rid of?
Okay, so let's do this logically. Let's go from the back. Right, so Leno and Martinez we keep because they're two great goalkeepers.
I mean, yeah, we got a lot of things to get rid of apart from them.
I don't know why we signed Cedric, so I can't really get rid of him, but I don't know why we got him, so I wouldn't have got Bellerin because Cedric and Bellerin can be the two right backs. Then we can have Ainsley as either a right back or a left back or a utility player, so don't want to get rid of him either. Mustafi can go, David Luiz can go.
You reckon you sell David Luiz? I agree with you, but on one hand, he looks like Arteta's sort of lieutenant. I don't know if he's going to play Gabriel and Saliba right away, so he could be a sort of bridge player. He has had, I don't believe in him consistently over a season, but he has had some big moments. Would you get rid of Luiz with that?
Yeah, 100%.
I agree.
Is the guy good enough to play week in, week out for Arsenal to take us
38 games? You don't know what you're going to get from my man, so it's a myth.
Right, exactly. So I wouldn't have him. If you employed him at your job and you said you need to do this every single week, probably 7 out of the 10 weeks, it would be all right. But 3 of the weeks, it will cost you a lot of money. Mash up your shit, yeah. Exactly. So I would get rid of him. Mustafi, again, get rid of him. Holding and Chambers is a tough one.
Techie one, man. Very techie.
Because, you know, they're both... I think the important thing is as well, people have to remember, we have to have English players in the squad.
We need homegrown players. We literally need them. We have registration laws.
Exactly. So I would say I wouldn't mind keeping both of them. Maybe send one out on loan.
Which one would out on loan for you?
I would rather send Chambers out on loan and keep Holding, if I could. Why? Because Chambers, for me, he hasn't this. At the start of the season, when he was playing, before he got injured, he wasn't actually that bad. He wasn't that bad. But I would rather have, like, if you had to say you've got your centre backs are injured, you have to play one, Holding or Chambers. I'd rather play Holding. So Chambers could possibly go out on loan, and then obviously we've got Saliba now, Gabriel, Mari. Who's our centre back we got? We're gonna have no centre backs by the time I'm
Gabriel, Marie, Saliba.
See, the thing with Socrates is I actually like Socrates, to be honest. I've never had a problem with him.
Can't agree, bro.
No, he's just a bit slow and just a bit like...
He's not as rubbish as people make out, for sure.
He's not. He's not at all. But if, realistically, looking at it, it doesn't matter what I think because I don't run the transfers at Arsenal. So if Socrates is going, we'd get rid of Socrates and then we'll just keep Chambers instead. It makes it easier.
Who's the 5 centre backs you keep though? Before you go on,
5 centre backs. So we got.
Assuming you want 5, because I just say it because assuming you need 5.
I think 6 centre backs is the main thing. So Saliba, Gabriel, Mari, Chambers, Holding. They can be the 5. I'm trying to see what these people are saying in the chat.
Fuck them, man. My moderators are on them, man. My moderators on them. Moderators, any people talking nonsense, get them out, man. Last stream, you lot weren't doing your jobs, man. Get there and do that.
Yeah, so then let's go left back. Obviously, keep Tierney. Kolasinac can go. And then Maitland-Niles can be the backup left back if we need him there.
Required.
Exactly. So that's fine. I would still get rid of Xhaka because I've never liked him. And I feel that people now are forgetting or think because he's had half a decent season under Arteta that he's now turning good. So... We'll just see about that. You can hold me on that if he turns out to be in my opinion, people say to me, "Oh, Xhaka does so much for your team." There's so many Granit Xhakas in the world. There's so many Granit Xhakas in football. There's so many of them. He's not a Thiago from Bayern Munich.
He's not a world-class player. He's got a lot of fan base. I do think he's got a lot of haters.
would Xhaka, this is what we need, yeah? Would Xhaka get into any of the top 6 teams? Would he even get into Wolves' team? Would he even get into Leicester's team? I don't think so. So why is he playing for us?
So true. But to be devil's advocate again, if he's Arteta's man and Arteta keeps playing like that, are you prepared to just give faith to Arteta in that? You know, I might not agree with Xhaka, but I believe in you.
I will give faith to Arteta. Whatever team he picks, whatever he does, you know, he can. I'll have faith in Arteta because, in my opinion, Xhaka must do something in training because he's been picked by every manager.
So there must be something he comes with.
So he must do something that we don't see because I really don't see it. Who else? I wouldn't get rid of Torreira actually, but
bro, thank you for being one of the only people who said that. It looks like, do you know why I'm cool with him going? Because if he's not going to be part of what Arteta wants, if we need to raise funds, then it is what it is. But for me, we lose a player because when you look at the midfield, he's the only guy that can put a foot in. And I'm pretty sure you agree. When we talk in modern football, fans they're always looking for other stuff about what a player should do. We're talking about ball playing with centre halves. Like, it's relevant, but you got to defend. I think people discredit Torreira and they forget about the good season he's had. The only reason I'd sell Torreira if these, you know, it always comes out, I want to go back to Italy. I'm not this, I'm not that. I don't really like that sort of stuff. So if he wants to go, he needs to go. But 100, I'll keep Torreira. I agree with that, bro, man.
Yeah, I think that he's just never really settled down here. I think his first 6 months of the club was very good. But then he had a bit of a dip in form. He got injured. And then
our position in that, making him a creative midfielder, Emre.
Yeah, that's just...
I don't know what he saw with that one, but...
Yeah. But I would keep him. But if he's going, he's gone. It doesn't matter.
Is 30 million enough for him though, bro? Because apparently 25 to 30 million euros is what we're getting. Like, is that acceptable? I mean, we make our money back, but it's hardly going to do anything, and he can still be sold on in a year or two for more.
Yeah, I think with us, I think just if we can get what we got back for him, it's better than making a loss. But
facts when you say it like that.
If we can keep him and play him, like I would play him. If you can keep him and play him and then he looks better and then sell him next season, maybe for a little bit more.
Why not?
It's kind of a no-brainer, isn't it? And then I don't think I would... Ozil, obviously, we don't even need to get onto that. That's a
different entity in itself. We'll be here all day, man.
Yeah, well, we can do another session tomorrow if you want to.
Yeah. We'll have to eat a mazza.
Who else? Obviously, Aubameyang, Lacazette, keep. Pepe, keep.
Lacazette. Let me ask you about Lacazette, because keeping him, for me, it's an easy one. But when you dive into it a bit, is it that easy? Because when you look at it, don't get me wrong, his work rate, big games, link-up play, he even scored some important goals. I feel all of that. But when I look at it, without emotion, and I see 50 million and his numbers, and the fact that he might need a big deal, it's his last big deal, could it be worth getting rid of him? Now, I still think we need a striker in the team with his skill set, but has his numbers matched up? Has he lived up to the hype of 50 million? Is he worth committing to a big outlay on?
No, he hasn't lived up to his numbers, a bit like Pepe as well. But with Lacazette, I feel that he brings something different to the team to then having you play Aubameyang up front, you know there's only one way that you're going to score a goal. And that's just over the top or through the channels, and he runs onto it and he scores. That's it. Lacazette, you don't have to do that. You can play it into Lacazette. You can cross it into Lacazette. He's a player like that. So I feel that it's important to have him. If we do sell him, we would need to get a reasonable replacement. We can't go...
need a number 2. We need a plan B forward for sure.
Exactly. But with me, listen, he hasn't lived up to his numbers, but that doesn't mean we should just sell him straight.
No, 100%.
Obviously, he's been in a few seasons. I know my brother disagrees. My brother doesn't really like Lacazette, but if you have Pepe, Lacazette, and Aubameyang, that front three is fine, in my opinion. That doesn't need to change. Then what? Obviously, keep Saka. For me, Willock can go out on loan. I'm not the biggest fan of Willock. He doesn't do enough.
Talk to me about Willock, bro, because I think I like Willock. He comes from Halen. He's a young player. I want him to do well. I think he could be a squad player. But I feel when I remove my bias and my emotions and I look at what he's actually good at, like in academy days, he was technically great. But just with the first team, you know, the things I find myself praising about him, should they not be there already in a midfielder? Like engine, the ability to press, ball carrying, like... I can't find anything past that, and the things I'm praising him for, are they not the minimums for a midfielder?
No, listen, all the things that you just said are minimum expectations of your centre mid. Obviously, he's a good player because he has to be a good player to become a professional footballer at Arsenal through the academy. He's got
and
some
been played by all these managers as well.
Exactly. But I just feel at the moment he's not doing anything for me. Like when I watch him, I'm not like, oh, I'm watching Joe Willock. Like I'm
Don't
seeing
see what you bring to the table.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, it's Joe Willock. He's doing all right. So probably send him out on loan. Probably, I want to keep Reece Nelson for this season to see what he does because I think in the games that he's played, like Liverpool at home, he played well.
Even Chelsea at the Emirates couple months back. Did he, or was it United? It was one of them. I think he had a little all right cameo there. Can't remember. He was playing with a smile on his face, man.
Yeah, no, it might have been Man United. I think he might have come on towards the end of the game. But yeah, because Reece Nelson for me, he's just he's again another player, a bit like Willock, but he's a bit better than Willock in my opinion. That he can bring stuff to the table. He can score a goal. He can get
a confidence thing for him, man.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll keep him for another season and see what he does. Obviously, Saka.
We can move on quickly with that one. Saka, there's no way Saka will ever be sold. We need that guy.
Martinelli's fine, and then I think that's the team. I can have a look, but
you're not missing out. You can't be missing out anybody. We're not going to spend time speaking about El Nene and these sort of players because, in fact, you know what, El Nene now, would you keep El Nene?
No,
he's played all right in the last 2 games.
No. Oh, Nketiah we missed as well. Nketiah can stay.
What's your opinions on Nketiah and El Nene?
Nketiah, I don't think he's good enough yet for the starting team, but he's a good, like he showed, he's a good player in the FA Cup to have. He's a good player in the League
/ squad guy.
Europa League, he's a good player in my opinion to give the main players a rest. El Nene, again, El Nene, he's not a great player, but he's just a basic midfielder.
Yeah,
He again is the minimum expectation.
Very mid.
Works hard, wins the ball, simple passes, hard. Like he doesn't lose the ball a lot, but he just doesn't really do anything with it.
Doesn't take any risks. He just plays.
So if we can't get anyone, like if we sell Torreira and don't get another CDM in, we're gonna have to keep El Nene.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
If Xhaka gets injured, because obviously Arteta loves Xhaka, then you're gonna have to have
So. Someone mentioned Smith Rowe. We didn't speak on him. I think I'm giving him game time this year if it was me. But what's your opinions on Smith Rowe, man?
I think Smith Rowe's a bit like Reece Nelson in my opinion. He can do bits, but only when he's confident and buzzing. And I'd like to see him this season again. Actually, yeah, I'll give him another chance this season. That's what I would do.
What's your feelings on Willian, man? Because for me, I'm looking at that 10 role. We know Mesut Ozil is Mesut Ozil. Like, if he's in the squad, I would like him to be used to some degree because we're paying money. I'm not saying main player. Joe Willock, whether I agree with it or not, he's seen in that sort of role. You've got Emil Smith-Rowe, who, he might be a bit hot and cold. For me, I'm giving Willian consistent game time there. And I'm actually considering putting Saka there. For me, Saka plays on the flanks. But if we're not going to bring people in, then there's an option. What's your opinions around creativity in this midfield now, man? Because that's been a problem for us.
Well, the problem with the creativity in midfield comes from the formation that we've had to play. Because our defence isn't good enough, we're going to have to sacrifice an attacking player for a defensive player to make sure that defensively we're good enough. Basically, that's what's happened. So we play a 3-4-3, a flat 4 in the middle. So the main creativity comes from our front 3 or the 2 wing backs.
Yeah, just about to say our fullbacks. Tierney's more time creating things, or even the goalies now, because some of the moves we're putting together.
That's what I'm saying. But with me, hopefully, Willian is a good player for us because. Why would we sign Why are we signing another Chelsea player who's coming towards the end of their career to come and hope that he's going to do bits for us? Now, I'm not saying he's going to light up the world. I'm not saying he's going to be poor, but
it's a bit underwhelming in isolation.
It's like you're signing Willian. It's like, okay, that's good, but
what else is accompanying it?
Can we sign like someone else as well? Can we do something?
Bring in this Partey or this Arawar or this guy and that guy, please? Because I think Willian will be all right still. But like you said, if it's just that in isolation, is a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, definitely. And with Willian, obviously he's a good player. I think us signing him, he can't play on the right because we've bought Pepe for 72 million. We're not buying Pepe to put him on a bench.
We're not. We spent 70 million. He needs to be playing.
He could potentially play on the left, but then that means you either play Lacazette or Aubameyang through the middle, which means one of them are on the bench. So in my opinion, I would just play Willian in the 10 if we go at a four at the back, because then we can have Willian in the middle, Pepe on one side, Aubameyang on the other, and then Lacazette up front. And they are all 4 players that we've signed and paid decent money for. Willian's a free, but obviously he's got a signing on fee.
Obviously, the signing on fee and the wages and whatnot.
So, in my opinion, in a business, any business, if you're paying people a lot of money, they should be doing the most work.
They should be your better players or your more high-performing individuals, or 100%.
It's simple. So hopefully he not solves the issue, but helps to begin to solve our.
Just gives us something missing, man.
Exactly, because again with Willian, he's a very good player where he can pick up the ball and drive at defenders.
Bro, I was just thinking that when you said it.
In the Community Shield, we didn't have a player on the pitch that could really do that. You know, who could pick up the ball, not even in a deep area, but just pick it up and go.
Pick it up and beat and just go forward with it.
Because then the defenders are like, oh, what do I do? Do I commit?
Yeah.
So, you know,
What's the best midfield we could put together, bro? Because again, I want to stay away from the party and the hour thing and just look at what we've actually got. It looks like Ceballos will be returning. Him and Xhaka will probably partner it. We spoke of Willian in the middle. What do you think of that partnership? Well, that trio, better yet. And is that good enough to get top 4?
Right. Is it good enough to get top 4? Yes. Only because realistically, Man City and Liverpool should be top 2 again. Chelsea should be top 3, but they should be competing with the signings that they've got. So there's a 4th spot. Man United's midfield is going to be better than ours, but I feel that we've got a better head coach than Man United in Arteta, and I feel that we've got a better front 3 or front 4.
Or whatever option we can put together.
So we have potential to get top 4, but I've always said this, it's not just down to the technical ability of the players. It's always down to their mentality. If they feel that they're better than they are, you're not going to achieve anything. If you feel that you need to work hard to get to the top, you will do a lot better.
You just feel you ain't accomplished anything every day and you have that drive. And that's what I like with Arteta, man, because I'm starting to hear the way Maitland-Niles is speaking, the way other players are speaking. It's like, I don't want Arteta to have to tell you everything. He should just be that reaffirming sort of army general. You should know, oh, crap, we've lost today. We're out of the top 4. We've won today. United are playing tomorrow. It's a 6-pointer. And I don't see that cerebral approach enough from our players. And we've been around the block. For me, I said it in one of my vids. I want the players to remember how it feels to fail, not the top 4, losing in the Europa and the headlines, and use that to drive them, bro. And will they? Time will tell.
No, exactly. And with us, so going back to your actual question, Willian, Ceballos, and Xhaka, is that, you know, a midfield where you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch them?
A bit meaty still.
Probably not. I'd probably rather have Fernandes, Van der Beek, and Pogba.
Yeah.
But I'm an Arsenal fan, so I'm not gonna want anything.
You're saying the bias is coming out.
Exactly. But again, like I said, with Xhaka, we will leave Xhaka because I don't want it to seem that I dislike.
I know how it is, man. People think you got an agenda and the rest of it. And
I haven't got an agenda. I've never liked the guy. I've never seen what he's brought to the team that another player can't do. So it's I'll just do that. Ceballos, again, like Willian, he can pick up the ball and he can drive at players. He can move the ball between the lines. So if he is coming back, that'd be a good thing, in my opinion, especially if we're getting rid of Torreira and if Guendouzi's going. But then again, our midfield will look pretty thin if that's all we're doing. Because we'll get rid of Torreira and Guendouzi. So then who have we actually got? Let's say we don't get Ceballos, even though he probably will come. Let's say we don't have him. You're
relying on El Nene. It's a madness. It's a madness. It's not good. It's not good enough. And do you feel Arsenal fans, there's a false sense of security? I say that because we've won 2 cups. You know, there's talk of a Aubameyang deal. There's talk of things, but people aren't realizing the facts. Like, we have a long way to go as a club. Is there a false sense of security with Arsenal fans in relation to our season and forgetting the job we have to do?
The fans that I physically talk to aren't that bad. The fans on Twitter are just in another world. Like, I don't tweet anything. I just look on Twitter and say, like, I just think, what are you guys on about? Like, look how poor we were last season in the league. Even under Arteta as well, we lost to Brighton. How are we losing to Brighton? Like,
yeah, in the manner we did it as well, capitulate, winning, going a goal up, and then the rest.
We lost to Tottenham as well.
Oh, in the goal up
last season. Like, people, I said this in one of my AFTV videos before. Last season, I wish I had the stats now. Last season, we lost to Brighton twice, I think.
Yeah, we did lose to Brighton twice. Mupé scored both games.
We didn't beat Spurs. We didn't beat Chelsea in the league.
No, we didn't. Lost in the draw, throwing it away.
I think there were
4 points off United.
I think there were 3 or 2 teams that we beat twice, which were Newcastle and West Ham. And who did we play in the last game of the season? Watford. We drew to Watford earlier this season. We drew to Southampton as well. Yeah, I think there were only 2 or 3 teams.
Did we lose to Villa? We lost to Villa, innit? We lost to Villa.
Yeah, we lost to Villa. That's what I'm saying.
And we beat them at the Emirates after, having to come from behind in it.
I think West Ham and Newcastle, we got 6 points out of 6 out of those 2 for the whole season. And people are thinking that we're going to do something like special. Arteta's doing things, but it will always come down to, like, I'll look at stats and I'll look at last season, I'll look at this season. So this season coming up, we need to beat all of the newly promoted teams twice.
And break them down as well, man. Because for me, it's about breaking them down. The 3 at the back thing, I don't mind it because it's all about intention. I see Pep Guardiola play 3 at the back, but they play the same. They're trying to go forward. For me, the 3 at the back is all right in these big games. I want to see us put a bit more of a foothold in these big games. But when we're playing against these small teams, we're playing 3 at the back. We haven't really got creative players on the pitch anyways. They're happy to sit back. We just can't break them down. That's a mad problem for me. What do you think? What would you class as a successful season for Arteta next year? Beyond the obvious.
Beyond the obvious, consistent performances from the players, but consistently good, not consistently bad. There's a difference.
Yeah. With Arsenal, you have to be very careful with that one, there, my guy. Yeah. He has to, like, say, obviously top 4 and a trophy is the main, 2 targets that he probably has from the board or whoever sets the targets. His sort of mandate thing, yeah.
I think for him, obviously winning is important, but I think for him, if he could get the team to play consistently well for a sustained period of time over games and get players to play consistently well. So, like, with me, obviously Aubameyang, fantastic player, great goal scorer, but again, Aubameyang's kind of a spell's got, like, he'll score 7 goals in 5 games and then might go missing for 3 and then score another 7 in 5 games. So overall, he's scored 14 goals in 13 games, which looks great, but it's that I'd rather him just score 1 each game or, 3 goals in 2, things like that. Again, with David Luiz, if he's playing David Luiz, he has to be at a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10 every single match. He can't have a 10 out of 10 one week, 3 out of 10.
2 out of 10. Then he made it conceded a penalty, but he played well. Yeah, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, like, if you have it as 10 out of 10 is up here and 1 out of 10 is here, you just need the whole team to be like that.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Nothing less.
Like, in my opinion, a lot of the players should look at Tierney. I can't remember Tierney having a poor match.
I can't remember him being beat 1v1, let alone a poor match, my guy. And it will happen, but because he's scared of letting down the teammates and the fans and himself.
Exactly. With him, he's a consistent player, and you see it. The players that are the best in the world, right, is because they're consistently performing at a good level. So if Arteta can get that out of the whole team and most of the players, for me, that would be a very good achievement, because that's not what a manager's done at Arsenal for how long? Even Wenger towards the end, it was hit and miss.
For me, it's about, like you said, it's just about consistency. And for me, it's about everyone being consistent. Like, when we look at these isolated cup finals, everyone's going to be up for it. But if I had to bet my life savings or bet my life on players being consistent over a season, I'm probably going to say Leno, to a degree, now Martinez, because he's coming to the fray, young Saka, Aubameyang. And then after that, it's a bit of oohing and ahhing, Tierney as well, a bit of oohing and ahhing. So it's a difficult one. Let me answer this question. Deluded, I love watching your videos. Choosing Aouar over Partey sounds like you don't know the Arsenal problem, bro. Partey is key for Arsenal moving forward. First and foremost, I don't think you know who Partey is, in the sense of he's not a defensive mid. He's a box-to-box composing figure. I have a lot of time for Partey, but if you actually watch Partey, he actually is known to lose the ball on the edge of his area. I want Partey to come. He's a composing man. But if you watch Arsenal, you will know that breaking down play is just important as having a composing figure. We need our skill set as much as Partey's. If it's not going to be Partey's or Aouar, you need someone who can break a line and secure leads. We've struggled to break teams down. We have really struggled to break teams down. Even at a push, I'm not trying to belittle Partey, but Xhaka and El Nene and whatnot in that big game, they've shut it down in midfield. Did we really break down that team? So I think you don't know Arsenal's problems, because both are exactly as important as each other. Goodbye. Thank you very much. What was you saying? I don't have time for rudeness. I can't lie. Like, there's differences of opinions. Respect people's outlooks and stuff. It don't make sense, man. Like, big up Joel as well, man. What was I gonna ask you? Who was your best and worst performer last year?
I'm sorry. I love the way you just.
You saying I threw you off there?
No. That's just how I would do it as well. It's just like shut down, see you later, thank you.
Yeah, man. Because do you know what it is? I can have different opinions, but you can't have. Don't be biased. Don't be fully camp Partey or fully camp Aouar. I literally said at a push, I'd rather get Aouar because I love that guy as a footballer. But I think having a composing figure and someone who can break the lines are equally as important. Like, people don't understand these things. Like, they're both needed in this team, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's really crazy. It's crazy. Like, Partey's a lovely box-to-box midfielder. He's actually got way more on the ball to offer. He'll be a complete player. But I don't want to bring Partey into this and ask him to break lines. He cannot do that. Like, same way with Aouar. I'm not looking at Aouar to be a composing figure because it's not going to make sense. Like my man said, somebody said Partey's a DM. He's not world class, and his heat map shows box to box / he picks up areas from his centre halves. Like my man just said, exactly. Aouar's not a 10. Partey's not that. They're both midfielders. Even that, I wouldn't want a 10 in modern day football. We've got Mesut Ozil. That 10 thing is dead. You need to be like Kevin De Bruyne or something like that, which we don't have. Like, let me ask you this: like, what do you think? Our midfield is a techie one because we're not like. We don't shut down games. We ain't got mad runners like a bunch of Ramses. We ain't got wheelchairs and that.
Big time.
Exactly. What's our midfield like? Is midfield a concern for you? What does our midfield tell you? Like, what does it tell you, bro? Like, what do you look at our midfield? What do you see? Like,
I look at our midfield. I just think, they're decent players, but they're nothing special. They're not going to set the world alight, which is why last season you saw so many times that Aubameyang digged us out of things.
Digged us out mad holes.
Like, people say creativity didn't come from the midfield. Yeah, it didn't, but that doesn't mean it has to all the time. It just needs to be a different option. You look at Man City, De Bruyne doesn't get every single assist. He gets a lot of assists, but he doesn't get every single one. But it's just the way that the players move. It's the way that there might be a late, like, let's say for example, Ramsey. Yeah, in my opinion, I wasn't the biggest fan of Ramsey, but now that he's gone, you kind of realize that we did miss him.
We did need that them runs. That's why I can see why Joe plays.
Exactly. Joe Willock, is he trying to be the next Ramsey, or is he trying to do what he used to do, get into the box late, or is he trying to make them runs beyond the striker? It's tough because at the moment we don't have that. Like, Ceballos won't do that. Xhaka won't. El Neni,
it's not him. It's not in him.
I think El Neni likes holding hands with the centre back to make sure he doesn't go too far.
Man said holding hands.
Ozil doesn't play, so like we said earlier, our creativity and our attacking comes from the wide areas, or it comes from how we play. Now, the matter if we can play out from the back, or if we have patterns of play that all the players get. You don't need creative players for that. But you need creative players when they sit 11 men behind the ball, and then how are you playing a pattern of play? Because you're not getting pressed. The only reason we scored a fantastic goal against Liverpool the other day is because Liverpool press us. So there's so many gaps that we can exploit.
Had to play at the back, and we exploited that lovely.
You go and play Burnley, who are going to have 2 banks of 4 and 2 strikers. You ain't going to. How are you playing out? You need people that can find the gaps. You need a David Silva player, for example, like a De Bruyne. You need to find the gaps, get on the ball, and then find the next pass. That's what we lack. And in not in big games, but in games where we won't get pressed or where the opposition won't be as intense as us, that's where we need to, that's what we need to do. Exactly.
All right, Gid, please, Gid A, please listen, bro. You've said, bro, Partey can break the lines. His passing is very underrated. Where did I say he can't break the lines? Where did I say he can't pass the ball? Partey is not coming into our team to be that creative player. He can do that. I want him to do that. But I'm bringing him in for a different role. I want a composed figure in midfield that can win the ball back. I don't want to be playing, like Jake just said, 2 banks of 4. I don't want to be looking at Partey to break the lines. It's the same way if I start Torreira, I want Torreira to break people down and break the ball down. I don't want him to break the lines. So his passing is underrated. He can break the lines, but we're not bringing him in to do that. Or we wouldn't be linked with Aouar and Partey. You'd bring in just one. Please listen. That's the last time I'm going to reply to that. The majority of people can listen. Some people choose to be silly. Kids, you're normally in the comments saying not sensible stuff, so you're calm, man. You're calm. But it is crazy. You're getting a lot of love in the comments, Jake, man. They're loving you. I'm gonna have to get you back here as well, man.
What can I say?
I'm really gonna have to. Saliba and Gabriel, man. Talk to me. We ain't chatted about that potential partnership. Would you blood them in straight away? Is it a Europa League thing? Is it one of them in? Where are you going? Is it 3 at the back? Is it a 4? Talk to me, man.
It's a 4, in my opinion. I would break both of them in because we haven't. Why not?
You can't do much worse than them, anyways. Really,
you haven't signed 2 centre backs. The next Varane in Saliba, apparently. I don't know who he.
Need to leave him alone with that, man. Let him just play.
The only reason I know who Saliba and Gabriel are is because of Twitter. I'll be deadly honest. Gabriel used to play at Lille and Saliba played at Saint Etienne. You think I watch French football? You think I'm following what's happening? I support Arsenal. I have no idea who they were, but if we're signing them, surely you have to play them.
Yeah, 30 million a pop.
If I'm buying a new bike, I'm not going to ride my old bike, am I? If I'm buying a new pair of trainers, I'm not going to wear my old trainers. I'm going to wear my new ones.
Your analogies are killing me.
Yeah, but yes, you have to break them in. I understand that, but I'm not looking to play like David Luiz to break them in. I don't want him to be like David Luiz. It's if you have to break them in, I would like to break them in with a 3 at the back and break them in at the same time. So say we have like Saliba, Gabriel, and Tierney as a 3 at the back. That's fine. I would have that. And Tierney can give them an experience. Yeah, Tierney's young as well, but Tierney's played for.
He's been around the block, man. Celtic, Scotland. He's gained that experience for me.
That's what I'm saying. But if not, back 4. We can have them 2 at the back, and then we can have Bellerin right back, or Maitland-Niles if he's playing, and then Tierney at left back. And then for me, that's fine, because at the end of the day, are they really going to be that much worse than what we've currently got?
And these people and certain other players are senior professionals as well. Like, I'm a weird one with David Luiz. Like, for me, when we signed him, bro, heartbroken. I'm not gonna lie, heartbroken. All I could see is the David Luiz mistakes. But when he came, I felt he had little good patches of form. I think he's very vocal when I go and watch the games. So I don't mind him. I agree wholeheartedly with what you said. You know, some man, we just shouldn't be playing. They shouldn't be involved. But when I remove my own opinions, I can get why. Like you mentioned, back 3. I can see the logic in that if it was going to be, you know, David Luiz in the middle, young Saliba, on either side and kind of coach them through it. That's what I think Arteta is going to do. He's going to do this sort of tutorial.
I think he will. The only reason I said Tierney at the back as well is because I
don't mind Tierney at the back. We keep forgetting about Marie, man. Somebody asked a question about Marie. Now, I know you ain't seen too much, but you got any thoughts on him or any opinions at all?
Again, didn't know who he was until obviously Arsenal linked with him, and then you see it all over. Like he's the next Thiago Silva or whatever, and it's like, okay, of course he is. You know, you knew so much about him because you watched Brazilian football. Yeah, you were screaming we should be grabbing him. And he was fantastic in that game that they played against Liverpool, wasn't he? Like I've seen him so many times since then. Now with Mari, he's injured now. Again, he must have done something in training, or Arteta must have seen something to say give him a proper contract. Because you're not going to sign him as well. Sorry?
He's only 26 as well, so he can be here for a minute.
Exactly. And again, he's another, like, he must be experienced. He's 26. It's not like he's just come from the slums of Brazil at 25 and then gone straight to Arsenal. Like,
he's been about.
When he played, what game did he play? He played in a FA Cup game, didn't he? Against Portsmouth. Yeah, he wasn't that
Weren't
bad.
trouble too much.
Yeah, he wasn't that bad. He's a left-footed centre-back, tall, good on the ball. So, again, another modern, I was going to say futuristic, modern centre-back. But I haven't seen enough of him to make a judgment, so I can't say if he's good or bad.
Facts. Like, I can't make an opinion, a real informed opinion, because he just hasn't been exposed. The one thing I will say, from what I've seen playing for the 23s and what I've seen, who was it? He played against City and then came off. I think he's got Turkish. Big up Turkish. Turkish is in the comments. Turkish actually said he's like, and I agree with it. It's like, we think he has a problem with pace, because you look at that City game when he's pulled out into them channels. That might be something to be wary of. But for me, with Marie, I just want him to come when your time comes. Just be solid, like you said. Can we just have a competent third, fourth choice centre half that steps up, really and truly? Because I think David Luiz is first choice. Gabriel and Saliba, I think they're earmarked for that, but I think he'll retain it with Saliba. So for me, the fourth choice is Marie. And then in relation to fifth and sixth, I think he's retained faith in Mustafi. That's probably why Holding is allowed to go out on loan / permanently, and Chambers the same. We've got another question. I know you're very passionate on the Cronkies and things, so I purposely didn't get involved. Joel said, big up Joel, because he's always in there. He said, is Kroenke finally getting the fans' passion with the vision and bravery to earmark Arteta as Wenger's successor?
I will tell you this for a fact now, and you can quote me on it. You can use whatever. We are not going to win the Premier League or Champions League under Stan Kroenke as our owner.
I pray to God you're wrong, but I can't. I don't even want to quote you on that, because that's something I would be saying.
Can you give me any evidence? Can you give me any facts? Can you show me? Yes, Turkish, love that. Can you show me any reasons why I'm wrong?
I can't. I cannot.
Right, Abramovich. Look how he's moving at Chelsea. Look how the City owners move. Yeah, our owner doesn't do that. We always have to sell a good player to get a good player in. Like, let's go back to the trainers, yeah? I've got to sell my good trainers to get another pair of good trainers.
This guy loves it. This guy loves it.
Just buy 2 pairs of trainers if you've got the money. It's frustrating, because with us, we're meant to be a big club. We don't act like a big club at all. It's like now, realistically, this transfer window, we've bought Willian and Gabriel. Willian was a free.
And Cedric, technically. Like, made them permanent, cheated the game.
So how many of them are world-class players, or how many of them would get into, City or Liverpool's or even Chelsea's team at the moment? Not many. Well, Willian clearly wasn't.
Yeah. To be fair, they wanted to keep Willian, but I mean, Willian's gone. They've got these options. They got Ziyech and these sort of players now. Are they going to miss Willian?
So Chelsea go and get Ziyech. They go, oh, Willian is fine. You can go to Arsenal. What? Why can't we just go get Ziyech? Why do we have to sell Giroud to Chelsea so Chelsea could sell Batshuayi to Dortmund for Dortmund to send us Aubameyang? Why don't we just go and buy it? Like, what? It's always so extra, and it's always, never just straightforward. Like now, Partey, apparently, all the rumours he's got a £45 million release clause. Go buy him. 45 million? Really? You're spending 72 million?
Stop messing about. Just put the money on the table and let's keep it moving.
That's it. Done. Or I can't say his name. Owa, is it?
Yeah. I probably butchered it as well. French people, I'm sorry.
But if we want him, go and get him. It's a joke, because at the moment it's really winding me up what Chelsea are doing, because Chelsea, they're going to get Havertz as well. And
they're doing their business, bro. They're doing their business. I'm jealous of Chelsea, man.
It's like they are doing all of that, and they finished above us last season. You have to remember.
And they got Champions League.
They're improving their squad, and they finished above us. We're improving our squad not as much, and we finished way below them. How? I don't understand. If you don't put money in, regardless of football finish, if you don't put money in, you're not going to get the best results out.
You're not going to get out.
If you go and get a camera, obviously you're a YouTuber. If you go and get a camera and you get the cheapest camera, it's probably going to be the worst camera about. If you go,
and you're going to have to buy a next one and the next one and the next one,
because it breaks. If you just go and buy the most expensive camera, or one of the most expensive, you're going to get the top quality. It's going to be easy.
You're going to get consistency, durability.
Like people think football's a different world.
Like it's some brain searching thing, isn't it?
Not. It's not. If you want something and you have the money to do it and you feel that it will benefit your team and club, go and do it. If you are not that bothered, like in my opinion, Stan Kroenke's not.
Don't give a crap about us, man.
You don't care. Why? Like right now, at the moment, why would he care about Arsenal? You're an American owner who lives in America, who owns loads of NFL and
other business interests and the rest of it, and you've got someone else running this club. He only cares when seats are not on bums, when the money is in the red, when the balance sheet is in the red. That's the only time he gives a crap about this. He can tell us till he's blue in the face about how he wants to be a success. To be fair, I don't want to say he's backing Arteta, but it seems to be like they're backing Arteta subjectively. I believe in you get what you pay for, man, because even the signing of David Luiz, like it's more than 8 to 10 million when you consider wages, but then you made these mistakes. You're still having
how much is he cost us? Even more. He cost us how many points, giving away all them penalties and red cards? How many points is he like? Yeah, the cost is this much, but you invest a lot of money. Usually, you get the results for investing.
You get the results. Simple as. You get what you pay for. You penny pinch with Socrates, Mustafi, and Luiz. You're still talking about centre halves like this summer. Now I'm happy with Gabriel and Saliba. Hopefully, it means we never have to revisit that subject. But it's like since we hope. It's like since we moved to the Emirates, bro. I thought about this. It's like when you deep it, how many signings have been quality signings? There's not been many, you know. Aubameyang off the top of my head, quality. Alexis, quality. I'm gonna Ozil subjective, but I think Ozil's been good on the scheme of things. Santi definitely quality. That's off the top of my head.
Cazorla can go back into our team right now.
Walk back into it.
I'll happily sign Cazorla and Ramsey back easily because it winds me up, man. Why? You look at Cazorla, yeah. You say people say we've never replaced Patrick Vieira. Cool, but Patrick Vieira is like a world-class player that would be ridiculous to replace, in my opinion.
They even got close to it, bro.
Right. But that's in any team. Like you can say, like Kante, if Kante played a bit longer, you could compare him, but even Kante's more of a deep line midfielder like CDM, whereas Vieira is kind of a box to box, so you can't really relate them. But in my opinion, we still haven't replaced Cazorla. Our major downfall was when Cazorla got injured in 2016, in October 2016.
Against Norwich, innit?
Look, no, I think it was against Ludogorets, yeah, away. Yeah.
But I think he played against. Did he not play against Norwich the same day or the same week? Sorry, with an injury. I remember Wenger talking about that. I remember being vexed about that. Can't remember though.
He might have, but since then, we've never replaced him. And people forget. Like he's, in my opinion, he's one of the best technical players we've had at our club in a long time.
Yeah, he is. He's a very underappreciated player. People don't deep and how clutch he was for us away from.
How many times did you see Cazorla have a bad game? 2, see how many times he gave the ball away in a match. People forget how important it is, especially at our level. So with Arsenal, how important it is to keep the ball and be able to do things quickly on the ball. Xhaka, again, I just don't want to come on in and slate the guy, but the guy's too slow. Mustafi is too slow on the ball. The players at our club are too slow on the ball because Cazorla could do everything 2-3 touch.
The best players do it in less.
Exactly. If you go and watch Thiago, in my opinion,
bro, he's a joke.
He is ridiculous. Like the things that he can do on the ball, stupid. Verratti as well. Verratti is a very underrated and underappreciated player, in my opinion, because Verratti again can do things very quickly, very cute and technical, and we don't have a player like that at the moment. So Bios isn't that player, in my opinion. I don't think he is. I think he's a good player, but he's not that level yet.
I like Ceballos, but I think Ceballos' problem is I can see exactly why he doesn't play for Real Madrid, and it's kind of what you're talking about. Is doing things in less touches, is seeing the picture early. It's literally goals and assists. What I see with Cazorla, sorry, Ceballos, he likes to play getting the Spaniards mixed up. He's very good on the ball, but I just think he likes to play in areas you're not harming the team. Like sometimes it's like he wants hella touches for the sake of it. I feel Arsenal's problem in general is we don't replace players, or like even Aubameyang. I don't think we need to replace Aubameyang if he signs a new deal, but we need to look for that striker of tomorrow. We didn't replace Koscielny, and we had a 34-year-old Koscielny still playing. It just until recently with Kieran Tierney, have we replaced the Monreal and got someone that can fill in at centre half as well as at the back? You know, there's plenty of Kanté, Cazorla, as you said. There's plenty of examples, and for me, I'm now looking at it with a. If I'm cynical, Aubameyang's on his way out as a footballer. He's mid-30s. We brought in 2 young centre halves, so it's a bit irrelevant. But you've now got on paper David Luiz. So I'm looking at how we renew the team, because I think that's a problem for Arsenal. It's when you're going to sell, man. Are you going to bring in a player levels, and do we learn from hindsight and apply better foresight? If you're not Messi and Ronaldo, I don't care if you don't want to, if you want to be here or not, really and truly, because I've seen on relief. But it's about our succession planning and our scouting. That's where I'm a bit nervous when players go, in my opinion, anyways.
Well, you play football, right? I've seen your little team talks and that.
Oh, allow it, man. No one's letting me forget. No one's letting me forget that.
No. I'm being real, yeah. Let's take this. Let's take this, yeah. So in your team, regardless of ability, up and down the whole of football that we play, or that the Premier League is, or League One or League Two, when you get rid of a player, one, they should be near the bottom of your team, one of the worst players, and then the player you get in needs to be near the top of your team.
It needs to be a better replacement. Yeah.
But it doesn't work like that at Arsenal. We always have to sell the top 1 or 2 to get in another top
mediocre ones.
What? Why? Like that doesn't make sense. Why don't you keep the top 1 or 2, sell the bottom 3 or 4, and then buy a 5 and above? You know, top 5 or above. A player that you buy should become one of the best players in the team. Pepe, we've bought him. He should become one of the best players in the team. I don't feel that he has.
Talk to me about Pepe, because we ain't touched on Pepe. What's your feelings, man? You've seen a season of him now. You've seen a better end to the season. What's your feelings on him?
Has he justified his price tag? No.
Well, it's not 70 million. I have to save him because I'm a bit biased to him. It's not 70 million up front. I do think we've overpaid for a player that's not of that ilk, of course. But I do think he's been scapegoated a bit. Don't get it twisted. There are times he's hidden. He could have done better. But I do think there's bare factors, man.
He can't control his price tag. So my point is a bit stupid. But in my opinion, the money that we've paid for him, we've not got the results we should be getting.
You shouldn't be getting picked. Saka shouldn't be getting picked ahead of you. You're 70 million. It should be undebatable whether you play or not.
Pepe should start every single game for the price that he's cost. He should start. And in every single game, he should be at least a 7 out of 10. And again, if he's playing, 40 games in a season, or 50 games, let's just say 40, makes it easy. He needs to be getting at least double figures in goals and assists. At least.
But he's done that statistically this year, though. And he's up there for contributions, excluding Aubameyang. But
again,
I'm not justifying his performances. I'm just saying there is something there.
I know, but throughout the course of the season, has he been our best player?
No, that's where I agree. He's been too hot and cold. At times he's lost his confidence and his decision making has been poor. I agree.
So with me, this season he needs to kick on. In the cup final, he was brilliant. Like, I'm not going to say a bad word about him in the cup final. In his first home game against Burnley this season, he was good. At Anfield, he was good, but he needed to score a goal.
Even at Sheffield, he did a little good run and didn't finish. But that's not what we bought man for.
Again, this is what annoys me with Arsenal and our team. You can't have players in moments. You need to have players for the match. You can have a moments player. You can have a moments player, but you can only have one of them. Whereas a lot of our team are kind of moments.
If the sun's shining, they're on playing.
Exactly.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
You're right on that, man. You're right. But I do think, do you know what? I feel with a new coach, like I said, I agree with you, yeah, because there's a lot of things Pepe could have done better for himself. Like defensively, he's improved a lot because I think Arteta dropped him because of that. But I do think with Arteta now and a better way of playing, because I think when Pepe weren't thriving, none of our attackers were. I think he needs a consistent right back. I think he's got his confidence back. But at the same time, I agree with what you said, man. He needs to be putting in 7 out of 10s minimum. His decision making needs to be on point. Like for me, the most frustrating thing about him is he can dance past several players. He just doesn't like get your head up and just finish, or get your head up and just pass it. Like there's a beauty in simplifying your game. And I think he could take a leaf out of Saka's book, because Saka isn't here for the showman stuff. He gets his head up, picks a pass, or slots it home.
Well, I've just seen a comment, yeah, and I get this a lot. Jake, bro, it's not black and white. Well, what is it then? Red and yellow? Like, what? You're either good or you're not good. You're either good enough or you're not good enough. You either play well or you're not playing well. It's not, oh, you're playing middle-ish. No, you play for Arsenal. You have expectations. It is that simple. It is that simple, I promise you. You, as a player, you've made it to a professional level. For some reason, you've done things in your life and trained and had the mentality to become a professional footballer, which is every little boy's dream. Yeah? You now need to show to the fans of the club that you play for why you have become that player. That's it. That is the black and white of it.
So what would you drop at, based on last season? What would you give Pepe out of 10?
5, 4. I've just looked at his stats here. Yeah?
Come on, man. 5's calm, 4 is harsh, bro.
In the Premier, 31 appearances, 5 goals and 6 assists.
Yeah, the numbers are looking meaty. The numbers look meaty. So let's add them together, make him look a bit better on paper, bro.
11 goal contributions in 31 games. So 11 goal contributions, 31 games. 1 contribution every 3 games.
Yeah, it's not good enough. But then, and I'm not saying this as a justification, but he's kind of it's meaty and mediocre, but he's improved what we have, and there's something to build. Because when you compare that to the rest of our side, he's come and added something. So to a degree, he's given us something we're lacking. I agree with you in that you bought him for 70 million. I want to see more stuff. I want to a degree. I know it's not this simple, but when we're speaking of Mane and Salah and these sort of players, I want to be sitting here and throwing Pepe into this debate. So it's time will tell, man. Time will tell.
Pepe's nowhere near that.
That's what I'm saying. I want him to play to the point where he's thrown in that debate. But it's the decision making. Like we didn't buy a player that's is the finished article. Like I watched a bit of him in France, and I knew exactly what I was going to get with him. People were just looking at this price tag and looking at these fancy skills. He's a decent player, man. There is a player in him, but he is going to frustrate. A couple last questions. I didn't get onto Bellerin.
We're still on Pepe, yeah. 1 sec. So Pepe played 31 games, 5 goals, 6 assists, yeah? Rashford, who we mock at Man United, 31 games, 17 goals, 7 assists.
How many of them were penalties, man? I gotta save Pepe. No, I'm guessing, man.
Pepe scored 5 goals. I'm pretty sure 2 or 3 of them were pens. So, in my opinion, Pepe's numbers there are horrendous because I don't, but Arsenal fans mock Rashford and mock Man United on how they're not great, and Rashford's.
You're saying it sounds a bit hypocritical then to try and.
Rashford's got 24 goal contributions in 31 games. That's a lot better than what Pepe's got. So, in my opinion, Pepe get them numbers or nearer them numbers next season.
For the way you put it, I can't disagree, man. But last couple of questions, because I know you got to be somewhere. Hector Bellerin, man, we ain't spoken about him, but he's a bit hot and cold. He's been linked with a move to PSG for 30 million. With Maitland now seeming to be able to do a job at fullback, and technically we've brought in Cedric on a 4-year deal. Would you entertain selling Bellerin for 30 mil, or are you trying to keep him and see what he can do this year, like with Nelson and these sort of players?
If you're giving me 30 million for Bellerin, I would sell him. I would sell him if it's 30 million. If it's anything below 30 million, probably wouldn't. I feel that.
Let's say 25.
No, 30.
Fair play. You're sticking to your guns. Fair play.
9.99. No, 30. I promise you.
Drive a hard bargain, bro.
That's me.
Oh, rate that, man.
What do you mean Pepe is just adjusting. Look how many goals Aubameyang scored in his first season at us. Stop making excuses for him because it fits it. No.
All right, let me go to the last question for you, man. This is a light-hearted one, and one that ain't gonna pee off your brain.
Oh, yes.
I answered this in the last one, so it's long me talking about it. What's your lineup with what you can know?
Okay, so we're starting goal. Oh my god. Okay. I'm a man of principles, yeah. So I would start Martinez because in my opinion, he hasn't done anything wrong to lose his spot. And
the minute he does, we review that.
If I was Martinez, I'd be fuming if I'd lose my spot. Because yes, Leno is great. We've bought Leno there or whatever, but Martinez doesn't deserve to be dropped, in my opinion. Back, I'll probably go 4-2-3-1. Right back, we'll go with Bellerin. Centre backs, let's go with Saliba and Gabriel. Why not? Tierney left back, I would go with the players that we've got. So right now,
yeah. Only what we've got on paper. Like you can't really talk on nothing we ain't got really.
Right now, Sabas we haven't got, and Torreira hasn't gone. So I would say start with Torreira and Xhaka in the middle. Even though I would probably start Guendouzi because I like Guendouzi quite a lot, but obviously
I love him, man. It's gonna pain me that he's left, that he's gonna leave, man.
I love Guendouzi. From the moment I saw him, that first game against Man City at Emirates when we lost 2-0, Emery's first match, I knew there Guendouzi was going to be.
There's something in there, innit?
Yeah, there's something there. We're not making a mistake if he's got a poor attitude, but technically he's letting himself down.
Yeah.
If he's got a poor attitude.
If he doesn't hit his whole potential, he has himself to blame. Yeah. He needs to fix up, man. And I hope the penny drops at the next club.
Exactly. So I'll say Torreira and Xhaka. But obviously if Torreira goes and Ceballos comes in, then Ceballos and Xhaka. Pepe on the right, Aubameyang on the left, Willian in the 10, and Lacazette up front. Easy.
Lacazette up front. Me, I change mine all the time, man. But if I was gonna go, I want to go 4 at the back, but I think he'll go with a 3. Yeah. Like you said,
Martinez. You said what would I go with? You said what would I go with? So that's
So I thought, let me try this again, sort of thing. I can't fault that. So I would go with, if it was me, I don't know how much we've been working on 4 at the back. So you know what? You should be able to play a 4 against Fulham. So I go, do you know what? 4 at the back. Let's go 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. Martinez in goal. Tierney picks himself at left back. I can't lie. I'm gonna go Maitland-Niles at right back.
That's the only thing I was thinking of. I love Maitland-Niles, man. The guy, like people say, oh, he's been really good this season, whatever. Every time I watch him, he's so chilled. He's so just calm on the ball, quick. I rate him so much, and I've rated him for ages. So yeah,
I've got time for him. David Luiz, and I'll go Saliba because I'm not too sure how long Gabriel's going to train in that. But if Gabriel is fit and Saliba's ready, I'm with you. Throw them both in. So I'll just say Saliba and David Luiz. Ooh. Midfield is the techie one for me, so I'm going to go Xhaka. Ceballos isn't here, so it's probably going to have to be Xhaka, Torreira, probably on any, but Xhaka, Torreira, Willian in the 10. Up front, it's a political one, you know. I'm gonna just because I want to fit a certain man in, Aubameyang up front, Saka on the left, Pepe on the right, purely because I have to fit Saka in. It feels like I'm doing Lacazette dirty, but for that game, I need Saka to play, man. I don't think Saka deserves to lose his place. He lost his place towards the end of the year. I think he's ready to go again, man.
Right. Sorry, I was listening.
Man, what's your reason for Torreira over Onene?
No. The one above that.
Madman.
That comment. Jake tearing into Pepe whilst defending Lacazette and his 10 goals up front for us in like his 4th season at the club. This is the real problem we have as fans. Okay. I don't need to insult the person that's put that comment. There's no need for that. All I'm going to say to that is if you have to argue against me saying that Pepe hasn't reached expectations, and you're using an excuses in Lacazette because I'm defending Lacazette because Lacazette does different things in the team, and you can't see that Pepe hasn't been as good as what the hype was, then you're a fool. That's what I'm going to say. And your lineup, Saka, yes, I agree. And one of the other comments was quite good, actually. Why don't we play Maitland-Niles centre mid?
Do you know what? For me, I would give him an opportunity there, but all I could say is at least right now, I don't think Arteta. I don't know if Arteta's using him at fullback just for now, or he sees him as that. But Arteta's had enough training with him. Like he's playing Joe Willock ahead of him. Is Joe Willock doing something in training to get ahead of Maitland? Like why is it Maitland being given a looking in there? Is Arteta waiting to see something? Because Arteta has spoken about his midfield abilities, how he can do box to box, how he's strong, he can play defensive and box to box and all of these things. I want to see Maitland in that role because I think if we sell Torreira, I don't think they're the same, but you know, he's got an engine, he can win the ball back. I'm not going to have him down as someone that's going to play mad passes. So I think I'm definitely on that. But is it going to happen? Time will tell, bro.
Then who would you play him as? So say we go 4-2-3-1, yeah? Would you play Maitland-Niles as the 2 or as the 10?
No, he can't play as the 10 for me. Like I know he can do the 10 stuff, but for me, he's a box to box man. Just make yourself busy, man. Just get busy. I don't think For me, I'm very peculiar in it. I don't really like these whole players you've got to train and stuff. If I need my creative midfielder, I want you to be levels now in it. Like I don't need any training things. I want you to be ready, and I don't feel we have one quite like that. So I'm prepared to. For me, Emil would get game time, but William would probably be the starting lineup sort of thing. For me, next season it's Emil and William as the 10s. Then after that, if Ozil's not involved, I've seen Saka play all right in that 10 role for us. You know, I think it's a better option than Joe because I hear why Joe plays there. He presses, he kind of links up with the striker to press, but I don't see the technical ability. I don't see the making of movements. So it's a bit of a mazza. It's a mad one, man. But it is what it is, man.
Your friend Gid A did another comment. Pepe ain't been as good, but he had 3 managers, a right back that didn't overlap, and a crap midfield where we don't even play to his strengths. Do you know what they sound like?
I'm not saying it, man.
Excuses. You can move that off.
Damn, I'm not involved.
Does Aubameyang not play for us? Does Aubameyang play for the team?
You're on your own with that one, man. I'm not involved. I'm not involved because if I speak, I sound like a hater all the time, man.
No, the reason you get on with Turkish, right?
Yeah, that's my guy, man.
I get on with Turkish because he's real, and you know it doesn't. You lot in the comments, you can think whatever you want. At the end of the day, I've got my opinions. You've got yours.
Yeah, as long as nobody's slaying anyone, we all see football differently. Nobody's right. Simple as.
Can't be right or wrong. It's football. This is the best thing about football. It's all opinionated. People think that Spurs are a good team. People
that's really, see, football really is a subjective game because I do not think that's the case.
Exactly. People think that Xhaka's a good player. That's fine. You can have your opinion, but it doesn't mean that you're right, and it doesn't mean that I'm right. You just see things in different ways, which is completely fine because that's what it's meant to be. So
it's been a fantastic show, bro. That's a great way to wrap it up, man. But Jay, let them know where they can find you and all them things, man. If they want to hear more of your opinions and that.
Well, you can message me on Insta and Twitter. So I don't really tweet a lot or like post on Insta, but you can just DM me if you want to. It's _.JakeGreen31 on Insta, and then it's Green31Jake on Twitter. And yeah, if you want to message me or if you want to talk, I will be open to talking. But believe me, I'll be as straightforward as I am on the computer as well.
And that's why I like him, man. And hopefully, you know, we can get some more of this, Jake, man. I've been trying to get this done with you for a while. As the season goes on, I strongly doubt you won't have any more opinions to say. And I'd love to kick it with you again, man. Is what it is.
Lovely. Thank you for your time.
Take care of yourself, my guy.
See you later.
Safe.